So I was surfing the interwebs, clear. I was surfing the interwebs this weekend and I came across this device and it kind of sparked this question. Do we, meaning the Glock guys, want a modular Glock? Let's talk about it. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy, Big Ball Holding Company. You know how to get to the website. I can't say it on YouTube because I don't want to get a strike. I already got a warning, but I don't want to get a strike. If you need something, go check it out. You can hit me up on any of my social media accounts, Big Ball Holding Company. If you need something, I could probably get you a deal. But anyway, yeah, came across this device and I was like, do we really want a modular Glock? Do the core Glock community, the old school Glock guys like myself who have been Glock ride or die forever, want a modular Glock? Taking it back to, again, I'm not a firearms historian here. I don't know every firearm and I don't know every generation of firearm and the history or story behind them. But I do know that a few years ago, I bought my first SIG and it was a SIG P320. And at the time, that SIG P320 had a fire control group, which was the serialized part of the pistol. And you could take that out and build other pistols using that same fire control group. And at the time, I was like, man, that's really cool. I thought about, going SIG at the time. I'm not even gonna lie, but I don't like SIG because of the drop safe issue, blowing up in your face issue and a lot of safety issues with SIG. So what I did was I took that SIG P320, I took it apart and I sold everything. I took it all the way down to the frame that holds the components for the fire control group. So now all I have is that serialized piece of steel that, that they put the whole fire control group together in. And at the time, I thought it was really cool because, yeah, if I bought my first SIG P320 and it was like a compact 9mm, I could take that fire control group out and put in a bigger frame, more capacity, different caliber, all for the same fire control group and having multiple platform or multiple pistols with the same serialized device, right? That's the goal. Not to have a whole bunch of, I don't know, a lot of us don't like to have multiples of the same thing, but some of us do. And for me personally, as long as I got one of these, I can build out as many Glock style pistols as I want just by buying the upper assembly, slide assembly, and I'm good to go. All right, so back to the Glock. So yeah, I was like, yeah, do we really want a Glock with a removable serialized fire control group, right? And who stepped up while that question wasn't answered? Ruger with the Ruger RXM. And I got to say this, I like where it's going. SIG, like I said, they had something when they started it because yes, you could make all those different pistols and then Future would show us that now you have all different types of PDW style chassis that you can build crazy, like those little short, I always tease people, say I can shoot, so I don't need a arm brace to shoot a pistol. Those crazy style PDW type of chassis that, sky's the limit. I think Striker's got one. A whole bunch of different manufacturers make something that you can drop a SIG fire control group in. So when Ruger came out with it, I was like, yeah, I see where you're going, Ruger. I see where you're going. You want to kind of, get the Glock people, to buy your pistol because possibly, maybe someone will design the same thing. For instance, maybe Magpul, who supplies the frames for the Ruger RXM, will design a PDW style chassis, which will work together and bring that, bring those Glock fanboys over to the Ruger RXM. Great idea. Just hasn't been executed yet. And to my knowledge, I don't think it's been executed yet. So as I was saying, yeah, I was surfing the webs, the interwebs, and I came across this article from a company called G100, and they had this device that was called the 120R. Now, the 120R was, like I said, from my SIG, where you have that fire control group. And if you took out all of the components, you got that one piece of metal, which is your serialized device. That's what the 120R is. It is a modular device that goes inside of their either 3D printed or maybe someone will come out with frames for this thing. It will go inside that, but the cool thing about it was the fact that it takes your Glock components, your trigger shoes, your springs, your trigger bars, and everything to build this out. So you buy their component, you put all your Glock components in it, and then you drop it into their frame. And now you have a serialized fire control group that you can switch out for different frame colors. In fact, I think this was open source frame 3D printing where you can either buy theirs and you can get different colors, maybe even different, size frames. Like if you guys want to build out a 17 size or full size Glock compatible, or if you want to build out something that's a little bit shorter from, 19 or maybe even, I don't know if it fits. I don't know because I don't have a Glock 43. Might even fit a Glock 43. So yeah, they built this one little serialized device that you can drop all of your Glock components in. If you already have a Glock, you can take all the components out of that and put it into that little piece of steel. And now you have a modular Glock. But what do we do with it? Well, G100, they have a 3D printable PDW style frame, right? So you could actually print it out or get somebody, I don't know, I don't want to say get somebody else to print it out because I don't know the legalities around it. But yes, now you have a serialized Glock PDW that you could, swap out and do all the modularity for. But do we really need it? Do we really want it? Because, if we really needed it or wanted it, I think, maybe I shouldn't say this. I think Glock would be on that. But they, they weren't. They didn't. In fact, Glock has waited. Since I bought my first Glock waited until 2 years ago to come up with the Glock performance trigger, which everybody's been screaming about. And they weren't really, even going to, they don't even want to give it to you for free. They weren't even concerned about all the complaints about the Glock. They know that you trust the Glock reliability. So all these other things are just, extras and accessories, and they just charge you for it. But yeah, they're behind because, like I said, first you got the P320, then you got the Echelon, then you got the Ruger RXM. But Glock, Glock's like, we'll leave all of that accessory stuff to, those guys, and we'll continue to make, the same pistols with the same triggers with a couple more cuts, and then, call it a Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, whatever, Gen 5, and, call it a new pistol. It's like the iPhone of the pistol world. But anyway, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, do you think that we need a serialized fire control group for a modular Glock? I think so. I think, I don't know. I think for the fact that maybe some vendors may come out with those little PDW style cool little devices where you can kind of like build little tactical devices that you can take out to the range and show off to your friends. Maybe. But like I said, when it comes down to it, as long as you got one of these, just one of these frames, whether it be a Polymer 80, CTS, PSA Dagger, or any of the other many Glock compatible or style frames that are out there, you're good to go. Like, you can build as many custom Glock style pistols as you want and not really have to worry about it. And then when it comes down to, that PDW style, you got that, I can't remember what it's called, that, damn it, I don't know what that chassis is called now, that you just pop it open, slide your Glock in and then close it up and everything works like a PDW. You got that. So I don't know. Do you think we need one? I'm on the fence about it. So I thought I'll shoot a video and ask you guys. Leave your comments below because I'm really curious what you guys have to say. Again, question is, do we really want a modular Glock pistol? All right. Talk to you later. Peace.
Gunman, baby.